Happy March 18th, everyone. Tomorrow is officially spring equinox on Tuesday, March 19th. And in today's weather forecast, we'll be talking about a temperature roller coaster as we go through this week. A significant storm is likely this weekend and early next week, bringing multiple hazards to the country, and a long range look at early April. We'll dive into all the details in today's weather forecast. Now, my name is Hunter here at Weather on the Go, and if you do like detailed weather breakdowns across North America, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below and the like button down below. It's the thumbs up button. It helps out more than you know. So let's look at our temperature anomalies waking up today, and you can see cold it is across the eastern 2/3 of the country. Warmer than normal though across the Pacific Northwest, the West Coast, and portions of Western Canada here. So a big flip-flop in our temperatures now compared to last week around this time. And looking at the temperatures this morning, the freezing line has made its way all the way down into the southern plains and into the southeast here. We're waking up to teens across portions of the upper Midwest. And when you add in the wind factor, those wind chill values are into the single digits above zero across the upper Midwest, and the teens across the central plains into portions of the Ohio Valley and the Northeast this morning. So make sure to bundle up if you are headed out the door today. But as we go through the week, a big temperature roller coaster. We're going to start off the week cold here. That cold air will push into the southeast and the eastern seaboard on Tuesday. We'll start to warm up across the middle of the country again as we go into Tuesday there. Another cold front, strong front comes through as we go into Wednesday, bringing down more cold air from Canada into the upper Midwest and the Great Lakes. And then that cold air will hang around as we go into Thursday. Meanwhile, we try to warm up across the middle of the country, and we don't really attempt to do so as we have yet another front moving through later in the week. So multiple cold fronts moving through this week, keeping us on the colder side. And let's look at the jet stream as well, because it has a lot to do with the northwest flow aloft. We have a trough in the eastern U.S. here early this week, bringing some lake effect snow across portions of the lakes here in interior New England, but also that colder air. As we go into the middle of the week, we have that dominant northwest flow aloft, the cross-polar flow from Canada down into the northern U.S. And then as we go into later in the week, we start to see more of a west to east orientation in our jet stream, meaning more Pacific air trying to make it into the middle of the country. But ultimately, the colder air will likely win out again across the north. So let's look at our precipitation going through the week. Very dry across the country today outside of the lake effect snow here across the eastern and central Great Lakes. Same thing can be said on Tuesday. A small clipper system into southeastern Canada could be bringing us some lighter snow in Ontario and the upper Great Lakes region. Otherwise fairly dry across the country early this week, even going into Tuesday. Then as we go into Wednesday, we have a clipper system moving in from Alberta. That's what we call an Alberta clipper system. That will be moving into Montana and the western Dakotas there on Wednesday. Some lighter showers and thunderstorm possible in the Texas Panhandle, western Oklahoma there Wednesday as well. Then as we go into Thursday, that clipper will move across the Dakotas into Minnesota there, bringing some lighter snow on Thursday, lighter rain, some thunderstorm activity into the mid-south as we go into that Thursday time frame. And then Friday, just a very active pattern later in the week. Multiple clipper systems moving to the south here, mainly producing some snow and wintry precipitation across the northern U.S. and some more rain across the southeast. And looking at our precipitation amounts through the weekend, going through Saturday, March 23rd, generally light amounts all told across the country here. The heaviest areas will be across the eastern Carolinas, coastal Georgia there, and into Florida. Parts of central and southern Florida could see upwards of 2 inches worth of rain going through the upcoming weekend on Saturday. And those clipper systems will be bringing wintry weather in the form of snowfall across the north. This will be wet snowfall here, and you could see a stripe of about 1 to 2 inches of snow, mainly on grassy surfaces from southern and southwestern Canada through Montana, the Dakotas, down into the upper Midwest, the Great Lakes, and interior New England through that Saturday, March 23rd timeframe. Then as we go into this upcoming weekend, all tabs are the western U.S. as a new trough moves in, a fairly significant trough, starting off positively tilted Saturday the 23rd into Sunday the 24th. Very big neutrally tilted trough early next week on Monday the 25th into Tuesday the 26th. And look how far south this trough digs, all the way to the Rio Grande Valley here into southern Texas and even northern Mexico, folks. So this is going to be able to pick up a lot of that Gulf of Mexico and eastern Pacific moisture. And looking here at a couple weather models. So this is your European forecast model on Saturday. A lot of energy coming into the west and the Pacific Northwest. The higher elevation seeing some very heavy snow, lower elevation seeing some rainfall out there, and some of that snow will extend into the plain states on Saturday, according to the European model. As we go into Sunday, the European model has that rain snow line further north, so the eastern Dakotas getting into northern Minnesota and northern Wisconsin seeing the snow, rainfall further south from there on Sunday. Then we have a new low developing on the European model down across northern Texas or the southern plains vicinity. That will move north and have a rain snow line from portions of Iowa down into Nebraska and Kansas there. Colder air coming in on the backside there on Monday, turning that rainfall over to snow here across the western, midwestern regions from Minnesota down into Iowa there towards Kansas City. Severe weather possible on this model Monday into Tuesday across the deep south. We'll keep an eye on that. Compare that to the GFS model. Same thing, has that active weather, the heavy snow in the Pacific Northwest on Saturday. That moves east here a little bit further south with the cold air as we go into Sunday here on the GFS model here. So we are seeing more snow further south into Iowa, maybe central and northern Illinois, into southern Wisconsin there on Sunday. The rainfall further south from there. And then it brings in the colder air a lot faster, a more progressive system. So the rainfall more into the Ohio Valley and the deep south versus the Midwest into the central plains, but still a little bit faster of a system. And it brings the colder air in faster. So places like Green Bay, Milwaukee, and even Chicago may turn over to snow early next week. So a lot of differences in the track strength here and placement of the features with this next storm system. Let's look right now at the European model snowfall forecast from Saturday the 23rd through Tuesday the 26th. Notice it's a further north solution with the colder air further north, and it has the snowfall placement further north here. Don't look at exact amounts right now, but just know that the placement up here on the European model is mainly across the Dakotas, Minnesota, and northern Wisconsin, and even parts of the UP of Michigan. Compare that to the GFS model. A little bit colder, a little bit further south with the snowfall track here, and a lot of this across portions of Nebraska, South Dakota there into portions of southern Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin, northern Illinois, over here into Michigan, and then into southeastern Canada on this model. Now let's look at the rainfall side of things here. The European model for rainfall between Saturday the 23rd and Tuesday the 26th has most of the rainfall centered across portions of the Mississippi Valley on west. The GFS model is along and mainly east of the Mississippi Valley. So there are differences with the track of the storm, how fast it moves, how slow it moves. There's just a lot of uncertainty right now. Things will change over the next few days, and we'll keep you covered here on this channel. What's likely not to change, though, is another cold air mass will be moving in on the backside of this storm as we round out March here, going through the 31st time frame. And you can see some colder air infiltrating the western 2/3 of the country. The only above normal temperatures will be favored across the Northeast and down here into Florida during the last week in March, and a continuous active weather pattern as we round out the month as well, except for the Rio Grande Valley. Will likely be slightly below normal with our precipitation during that time frame. Extending that now into the first 12 days, about a week to a week and a half or so of April. Notice the eastern 2/3 has the cold air, but will start to warm up as we get into early portions of April, and definitely seeing above normal temperatures, especially for the Pacific Northwest, the Great Lakes, Ohio Valley here, and into the Northeast, but also near the Gulf Coast, well above normal as well, and another active pattern extending into the first week or two of April across portions there of the desert Southwest, into the Central Plains, and down across the Southeast with above normal to potentially much above normal precipitation during that period. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to hit the subscribe button down below if you do like these detailed weather breakdowns across the country. We'll keep you covered here throughout the year. Make sure to also press the like button, the thumbs up button down below. It helps out more than you know, and I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their week out there.